more than hip hop, it's bigger than hip hop, revolutionary group, Dead Prez. My story is one of resistance. My story is one of African resistance. It's one of working class reality, of change. I come to speak some very serious words to you. I come to not sugarcoat a thing. I come to address the situation, our situation as African, poor and oppressed people here in Toronto and all over the world. The truth being, a lot is wrong with our community today, and a lot of us know that that's the truth. But the objective is to figure that out, and that's really why I'm here today. I come as a student, as well as a teacher. I'm a father as well as a son. I'm a breakdancer as well as a hip hop, as well as an MC. We do a lot, and we have to wear a whole lot of hats in order for us to get where we need to go in the future.
To the Canadian government, I say, fuck you. Yo, the cops stack me just because you black, that's war. Put you through the system for the Prez, that's war. When they call my hood a drug zone, that's war. Some lord charging you for rent, that's war. Why they so rich and we poor, that's war. If you're young and black, you sell crack, that's war. The White House is the rock house, that's war. George Bush showing out his mouth, that's war. Chilling on the corner, we a gang, that's war. Couple do the same damn thing, that's war. When they murder, I'ma do the yellow, that's war. Marching in the streets is a strategy of war.
1989 and 1990, I moved to Tallahassee, Florida, trying to get out of New York City, out of high school, out of North Carolina, out of a lot of the dead-end options that we left with right out of high school. You know, like Biggie said, either you're slinging crack rock or you got a wicked jump shot. And that's really those were one or two or three options that were afforded to us. Some of us went to the military. A lot of my friends went to the Army and the Navy and the Air Force and the Marines in the U.S. I think because that was the road that we were led to. Me, I said, I'm going to try to get out of here and go to college. I guess I've been smart enough to try to use that as an option. And when I got down to Florida, A&M University in Tallahassee, Florida, I realized that it was all a dream. After 1 or 2 semesters on the campus at FAMU, I saw some of the most kind of backwards deductions that you could think of in the world. You know, me coming in out of one of the most realest places in the world, where the majority of African people come from, below the poverty level, living paycheck to paycheck in my house. Like many of y'all know what time it is. I went to school many nights on tea and biscuits. You know what I mean? To come to a university where people who came from just the same place I was coming from were acting like they were new people, like as if they were now the Cosby kids. Or you had the ones who was from the suburbs, way out in the hood, way out in the suburbs, coming to school acting like they had a pocket full of crack and was ready to sling it, like they came straight off the block that Biggie Smalls came off of. The dynamic was incredible. I saw people trying to escape realities and not really deal with the issue. More than anything, I saw people try to answer the questions that confronted us in our society, but not being able, the university setting, not being able to offer any real viable explanation towards what's going on in the world. More than anything, I saw a assimilation process going on, and just like we say in these schools, I saw this U.S. government-funded educational system preparing us to go out to the world and create more opportunities for capitalist exploitation over the world, to be drones, to work in their jobs that would go on and make their corporations bigger and bigger, while the gap between the people who are rich and the people who are poor became wider and wider. I saw that from 1 or 2 semesters. I was clear.
No one's self-defense is a strategy of war. Soldiers gotta leave for other soldiers in the war. Revolutionary got to learn the art of war. War, what about hip-hop? Use that.
Stick Man, which is another story. That's an incredible story. But we began to organize around the local Tallahassee area. I was 17 years old, not knowing much about what I wanted to do, but I know I had the heart to try it all. We got together with some of our comrades around the campus area, and some of them who were off campus, because I spent a lot of time off campus. I couldn't deal with a lot of that fakery on the campus. So I had to get with my partner Stick, and we would go off the campus and we would start to organize. We formed an organization called the Black Survival Movement, right off the top, because we would listen to Bob Marley songs and The Last Poets, and we would listen to speeches by Malcolm, and we would listen to Gil Scott-Heron, and that was our political education, you know, along with many pamphlets and many books as well, when we start talking about political education. And so we formed this organization called the Black Survival Movement, and it was that Black Survival Movement full of young sisters and brothers. We were somewhere between 16 and 20 years old, brothers and sisters running around Tallahassee in military formations, wearing olive drab tops and military fatigue bottoms and boots, running formation, exercising and drills, trying to organize community programs, trying to redefine what life was to be poor and broke down inside Tallahassee, Florida.
Deep down into the fucking skin, turn off the radio, turn off that bullshit, turn off the radio, louder, turn off that bullshit, turn off the radio, hear me, turn off that bullshit.
If you need some sort of reference to what Tallahassee was like in 1990, they call it Florida, but it was more like South Georgia. It's like 1812 Georgia in the backwoods, where the Klan, the Ku Klux Klan still rode around with their hoods on the back of pickup trucks in broad daylight in Tallahassee, Florida. When I came to Tallahassee, Florida, I'm not talking about during Martin Luther King days. I'm talking about 1990, 1991. So this is what I was confronted with, organizing. This Black Survival Movement, we organized and redefined the terms. Instead of Mother's Day, which is a holiday that was created by this government so they could push Hallmark cards, we made an alternative. We called it Mama's Day. And we cooked fish and grits out in the community. We talked about how important the sisters who were left in our community as the backbones of our community, because the war in our community had left so many brothers entangled in the system. Inside the prison industrial complex, it left the sisters to run the household, to run the community, and we wanted to honor the sisters in that way. We would form Umoja councils and have meetings at the local recreation centers, and we would call to task and call to accountability the local politicians and say, this is what you got to do in order to improve our community.